Okay, let's say impeachment were attempted, and let's say impeachment failed, that it wouldn't pass the House probably. It certainly could never be. There could never be conviction. Let's say that an impeachment effort would take all the oxygen out of the atmosphere. In other words, the kinds of Republicans that we're, this war isn't going to end until enough Republicans march down Pennsylvania Avenue and say to this guy, "You got to end it." Now, if you can tell me where the votes are to do it any other way, please do. But if the kinds of things that we're going to do, and there are some wins. We've done more for veterans health care in 7 months than they did in 7 years, and that's an achievement that I would hope you're proud of.
Absolutely.
We've raised the minimum wage. We've adopted the 9/11 Commission recommendations. We're on our way, I hope and believe, to more than just marginal improvements in energy and the children's health insurance program, and so forth. I'm not going to overclaim. I know that I can tell you firsthand how difficult it is and how disappointing it is not to be able to bat 1,000. Okay, but if an impeachment effort just simply cannot succeed, and if in addition it takes all the oxygen out of the atmosphere and makes these other things even more difficult or impossible, then what's the argument?
Well, may I answer
We're
that?
ready for that one.
First of all, you're making an assumption there that might not be the proper assumption about it failing or about taking wind out. It might actually be just what the people need to get mobilized. The thing that we want from the Democrats is genuine leadership. Even if you don't see how it could happen now, to take a stand and to start a dialogue between the North Carolina delegation and see if we can come together. I think if the Democrats start really talking about impeachment, the people will respond. The people will call their representatives and say, "This is what we want." We are looking to you, the Congress, our representatives, to take that first step, to say, we understand that these people have abused the law over and over and over. At the very least, Alberto Gonzales. I mean, this guy's the worst attorney general in the history of our country. But I'm saying Bush and Cheney, they have shown over and over they do not care about our laws. They do not care about our Constitution. They want to change it. And in the Constitution, it says that Congress people shall impeach if they feel that there is a reason to, and we cannot see how there aren't reasons to impeach.
Well, the Constitution says that impeachment is an option in the case of high crimes and misdemeanors, and what would be required would be a long period of fact-finding and a long period of debate about what constitutes impeachable offenses, and at the end of the day, probably not a single Republican vote.
Well, with all due respect, the fact-finding process should, although it may be tedious to do, he has left a trail. He has not tried to hide his high crimes and his misdemeanors. And a lot of it, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And so I think we probably are farther enough along in that process, that part of the process.
The fact-finding, the oversight that we're doing and need to do is just without end.
That's right.
However, in an impeachment context, as you know, it takes a very different form.
Right.
It would have to be plowing the same ground with not only fact-finding but also legal determinations and arguments about what constitutes an impeachable offense and so forth.
We have no doubt that it's going to be extremely hard and tedious work, but we believe that it's the only option.
Speaking as a concerned citizen who very much believes in participatory democracy, I can tell you that if I'm representing other people's sentiment, I can tell you that I'm incredulous that there's a belief that there's nothing to be gained from triggering impeachment proceedings. I really believe that there is. Even if it was unsuccessful, even if it was unsuccessful to completion in terms of the time it took.
Well, let me just stop you there and ask you, because I'd like to know, can you give me the benefit of your thoughts of what the ledger looks like to you? What are the potential gains? What's the potential downside? Just honestly, at necessity.
Right. Well, I think I have to talk about how I view Washington as the land of Oz. I sometimes think that all of you are working in a fishbowl, and I think that when I think about how the government works, it's a lot of horse trading and collecting political capital, expending it strategically, and so on and so forth. But I have to tell you quite frankly, if I'm representing the citizenry, I'm so outraged that these offenses aren't seen for what they are. This is so far beyond horse trading and weighing and balancing the use of political capital or not. I mean, I as much as I believe in our governmental system, I have to say that the reason that the public opinion polls on their opinion of Congress is as dismal as it is because of this viewpoint that nothing gets done and that it's a culture in Washington of greed, self-dealing, and corruption. And we feel a sense of helplessness, a sense of hopelessness, a sense of desperation, and that's why we're here meeting with you. We are exhausting every means available to us to bring about essentially the overthrow of a despot, a fascist state, something that reminds one of what took place in Nazi Germany. It's nothing short of that. You know, totalitarianism and so forth is a very slippery slope, and we're already sliding down that slope. And I'm just incredulous. I really am. And I would like to come out of this meeting with an agreed upon strategy for really taking this seriously. I think that the benefits to our country and in the eyes of the world, in terms of our foreign policy, I think the benefits to a restoration of faith in our democratic institutions and system and electoral system could be restored if we even started impeachment proceedings. I think there's tremendous benefit to be gained. And I think if there were ever a time, ever, to expend political capital that's been accrued, this is the time. I'll stop.
Do you see any potential downside at all? Anything that worries you about?
No. This is a crisis. This is an emergency. I think it's like calling FEMA to stop Katrina.
Oh, okay.
It's very serious.
May I ask, how do I see it? I see it as being recorded as follows. Congressman Price surveyed, met with his constituents. It was the will of the members in his constituency, his district. The majority said that they were for impeachment and would stand behind him. And because he works as a public servant and works for the people, Congressman Price took the leadership and was courageous enough to go against the Goliath. He took David, it's interesting, David went against Goliath, and he pushed for impeachment based on, standing on very solid, strong evidence that our president was in violation of high crimes or committed high crimes and misdemeanors, and has totally betrayed the public trust, misused and abused his power. And so that's how I see it being recorded. No matter what the fallout is in terms of what others, certainly you're not going to have those who we know don't stand with our cause and interest in the first place. But I think it will show to not only your other members in Congress, but to the rest of the world too, that someone understood what it meant to be a part of the democracy within the United States, and that is to represent the will of the people. Not what can I do or to cause the less problems among my fellow colleagues, and to kind of barter, place me at the best position at the table to barter for things down the road.
Is that what you think I'm doing?
No. But I think, well, I say that because you said you gave us your record, which we know and we support. We are your supporters, and we know what your record is.